Okay, good evening, everyone. And I'll not discuss a lot of technical stuff today. It's going to be a bit different of a live session, but, anyways, going to be an interesting one. I am a bit under the weather, but ठीक है, all that happens. So, today, if you remember, I wrote something in the group, right? That I'll show you something in a while. And before that, I asked you a question that what is happening on the social media. Since I myself don't use any of these social medias, I mean, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter, the X, or any of these. So I usually get updates, from the students who are active over there, with all the awareness, obviously, under my guidance. I hope they follow it. So, I'm pretty sure the markets are pretty bad. In fact, horrible, I would say. We haven't seen such a bad market. I mean, the market that you saw in the last 2 days, we haven't seen that market for the past month or so. Perhaps, maybe even more than that. How is that? There's a scan that we use, CB scan. So, when you will see that, when you get that scan, come back to this live session and you'll understand why I'm saying this today. And it's a blessing to have that day. Now, on these days, what are the common things that you get to hear on the social media? Yes, definitely there is the event of budget that we are having I think it's on Tuesday, right? It's on Tuesday, if I'm not wrong. That's 23rd of July. But anyways, let's keep that out of sight for now. We have had these kind of days when there was no as such major event in the hindsight, right? I mean, in the hindsight, you could have said, okay, that was the case. That's why the market fell. It's always in the hindsight. But we have had these days, where the small cap index, the mid cap index, the Nifty has gone down by 3, 4, 5%, a percent or so. What happens usually? What is the commentary you see on the social media? Stay out of the markets. Log off, read a book. No trades will be available. Don't trade for the next week or a couple of weeks or a month or whatever. Basically, what are these people saying? These are just predictions. Great, good. A lot of people will say all the stop losses were hit. And when you ask them, if you ask for a reason, what is the reason they give? No, I haven't come across anyone who gives you the reason. The reason they give you is, well, that's how it works. That's how it is. There will be bad days, there will be good days. Okay. So basically, the talk will be, no setups and whatever. Today we have someone here from your senior batch, the batch which started in January 2024. So what is special about it? What is happening now? So he joined in January 2024, and the interesting thing is, I don't think he knew about Rich Road. Amar, am I right? Amarji?
That's it.
Okay. He did not know about Rich Road. I don't think he watched YouTube videos or anything as such. But one of his colleague, Ashwini, he joined. I think he used to watch the videos, and when he got to know about the academy, he joined the academy. And I think after joining in just 10 days, he got his colleague Amar, who's here with us. I think he got him pretty early on. When did you come, Amar? Do you know when did you start with us? Within a month, right? Within 15 days you came. So basically Amar is Ashwini's referral in the academy.
Yes, sir. January. Yes, sir. Most probably January. I think I joined in January. I don't know.
Okay. And he joined in January, and he was a referral from a student who just joined. So that was a bit interesting to me as well, because a student who has just joined is referring another person, right? He hasn't seen the academy, what happens in the academy. interesting. I had his interview, Amar's interview. I was in Bangalore at that point of time, I believe. Uh, so I had his interview. The academy started, and he's just like you. And I think I'm not sure how much experience he has had in the markets. So Amar, can you just give some brief introduction of your journey in the markets and what you were doing before this? Were you a beginner or whatever you have done?
Sir Pranam, and good evening to all the guys here. Sir, about my experience, it will be just surprising to everybody. I had only heard about the share market, and I had only noticed that share market is a type of gambling where, on the name of stocks, people play a gambling type, activity. I was, sir, totally unaware actually. Yeah, heard about share market making money on the name of share market, but I always thought it's like a gambling, but nothing was. I had no knowledge about share market, sir.
Okay, so you were an absolute beginner, I would say, right?
Right, sir.
Okay, that's interesting. Uh, now what happened? He came and he has been one of the best students of his batch, 241. Uh, so the batch started, everything was going good, and then as I've said, right, after a point of time, I'll allow you to start trading. I'll then have expectations from you, and you'll have to trade. You will be given a risk limit to trade within, and Amar started trading. And everyone knows it, right? That the past 2 days or 3 days in the markets have been bad. If you log in your socials, if you see the traders who are there on the Twitter, any trader, I'll talk about that later, but any trader on the Twitter, you go there. Pretty much everyone's, whatever their opinion is, SLs are getting hit, TSL. What is the reason? No reason. The market's correcting. That's how it is working. In those 2 and 3 days, Amar, I think, took brilliant trades. Brilliant. In fact, I'll just forward his message. I mean, there is his report basically of how did he do for the last 2 days specifically. Is it fine, Amar, if I share that, the message that you have shared with me?
Yes, sir. Right.
Okay. So I've shared that in the 242 group general discussion batch. It should get delivered. So the point is, when the market was falling, when everything was happening, Amar, who's a beginner, who recently started trading, took positive trades and made money. And those trades were not that it just happened to work. It had all the reasons. So, okay, that's basically, covering everything that Amar did, no matter what the amount is, because he was basically trading on a very high value, and that's not advisable at this point of time in his journey. He can definitely trade on 5 lakh in one stock, 10 lakhs in one stock, but that's, again, as I've said, making money is definitely a goal, but how do you make that money? That's more important to me as a teacher. I have to ensure that you are at peace. Because if you are not at peace, it doesn't matter how much money you make in your life. It just doesn't matter. It won't matter. You look back and you look back with regret. I have to make sure that as well, right? So, yeah, you can read his message in the group. Anyways, I'll let Amar speak now. Please, Amar, you can share your views. Whatever you want to speak, I'll be on the mute for as long as you want to speak. Okay. Over to you, Amar. Please.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you. So, दोस्तों, अमर मेरा नाम पूरा नाम जो है, my full name is Amarjit Kumar. I'm in central government. So yeah, as I said, actually, I got to know about this, academy from my Ashwini friend. And I was totally gobar. You can say in general sense, gobar. I did not have any kind of awareness about share market. So most probably in January I joined. How I joined? Very interesting. From my friend, I listened 1 or 2 lecture. Okay, because he's living just adjacent to my home. to my quarters. So I actually listened 2 lectures. I think it was a perception video and then another. And then one day I got to actually I secretly I sat beside my friend, okay, and listened that was the entire live session, okay, and enjoyed that. And suddenly I thought, why not I should join, because he actually did not completely recommended me. Just watching two lectures and live session, I myself decided I must join, because if I will be taking support from my friend, I would not be that much, advanced, or I will be having a lot of problem because he will not supply everything on time. So at night, I messaged sir, okay, through Rich Radio, one of the actually video, I watched that and I messaged sir, "Ki, sir, I eagerly waiting for your side, please let me join that batch." And sir allowed me. Next day, I joined the batch. I was so happy. And since then, I can't just explain the happiness that I have been having through the lectures, audio, posts. It was not only about the share market. I think the sir is giving a complete package of learning about life and living. It's growing not only in trading, but it's growing entirely as a personality. So it's a extra, you can say, priceless benefit that we are having in this academy. Another anywhere at other place, whether we get or not, I have no idea actually, because this is the first academy I have got. And as I heard normally from my friends, there is a lot of misguidance in the share market on different, actually channels or whatever. But I don't care for that. Simply, so in January I joined. Let me speak. I will take only 5 minutes. And since then, the journey has been fabulous. And so whatever, sir, the kind of knowledge, the depthness, the effort the sir is being sir put there over there, not only through lectures or videos, you will be getting a lot of posts, audios, where you will learn how to actually what kind of mentality we have to have, what kind of devotion and dedication to be there. दोस्तों, कहने की जरूरत नहीं है कि कहा जाता है कि जहां चाह है वहां राह है. Where there is a will, there is a way. और आप खुद फील करेंगे इस चीज को, अगर आप लोगों में आज़ादी की चाह है और अगर आप मेहनत करना पसंद करते हैं. मुझे आज़ादी बहुत पसंद है, ये मेरा 3rd सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का जॉब है, लेकिन मुझे आनंद नहीं आया उतना जीवन में 10-12 साल में जितना आनंद मुझे इस चैनल ने दिया है, सर के गाइडेंस ने दिया है. एज ए पर्सनैलिटी भी मैं काफ़ी ग्रो किया हूँ. मेरे में बहुत सारे डिफेक्ट्स बीच में आ गए थे इस 10-12 साल के दौरान, वो भी मेरे में काफ़ी इम्प्रूवमेंट आया है. दूसरी बात मैं कहना चाहूँगा आप लोगों से कि जो प्रैक्टिस सर का जो गाइडेंस रहेगा, उस गाइडेंस के अकॉर्डिंगली आपको चलना है. आप ग्रीड नहीं शुरू में पालेंगे, आप पेशेंस रखेंगे. आप सब, बहुत सारे आप लोगों में से जो होंगे जो मेरे से ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस वाले होंगे शेयर मार्केट के बारे में, हम बिल्कुल जीरो. आज भी सर के गाइडेंस, जो सर का गाइडेंस मिला है, उसी के आधार पर मैं खुद को एक प्लेयर के रूप में देख रहा हूँ. बहुत सारे आप में से हम लोग जो होंगे जो शेयर मार्केट को बेहतर जानते होंगे मुझसे, और उसके बारे में ज़्यादा जानते होंगे शायद. लेकिन सर का जो गाइडेंस मिला है मेरे लिए, तो वही बाइबल है, वही गीता है, और उसी के आधार पर मैं चलता हूँ. और पिछले इस 3 दिन में भी मैंने 3 ट्रेड लिया, और मुझे तो बड़ा आश्चर्य हुआ कि तीनों ही ट्रेड, एक तो खैर मेरा लॉस नहीं रहा, जीरो का जीरो रहा समझिए. जितना पर मैं एंटर किया वहीं आसपास में थोड़ा सा रह गया, 1% बढ़ा हुआ. 3 मैंने स्टॉक्स लिए थे इस 17, 18, 19 के बीच में, और तीनों ही एक तो 14% गया, एक 7%, 7-8% के आसपास गया. और वही गाइडेंस कि किस तरह का डीएनए होना चाहिए, किस तरह का तुमको जो है सारी चीज़ें जो भी नॉलेज के थ्रू आया है मुझे, उतना ही मैंने देखा. और अब मुझे धीरे-धीरे मैं स्टॉक्स को पकड़ पा रहा हूँ कि कौन सा है स्टॉक्स. पहले तो मैं स्कैन करता था तो 500-500 स्कैन मेरे ढेर हो जाते थे. अब मैं एक बार देखता हूँ, एक नज़र में देख लेता हूँ, नहीं ये फालतू स्टॉक है, इसको साइड करो. ये स्टॉक अच्छा है, इसको सेलेक्ट करो. और उस सिलेक्शन में भी आपको तो पैसा जो भी होगा, आप में से बहुत सारे पैसे वाले होंगे या कम भी होंगे, तो आप बनाएंगे बाद में. मैं देखता हूँ कि आपको 1 से 2 स्टॉक चाहिए, क्योंकि आपके पास 50 लाख है, 25 लाख है, 10 लाख है, आपको तो एक स्टॉक सेलेक्ट करना है. और सर सिलेक्शन के थ्रू इतना बढ़िया प्रोसेस है
कि मैं आसानी से मेरे पास 10-20 स्टॉक होते हैं, लेकिन मैं लालच में पड़ जाता हूँ अभी कि मैं किस में लगाऊँ, इसमें लगाऊंगी उसमें लगाऊँ। तो सर का लेक्चर इस 14 जुलाई को जो दिया गया, उस लेक्चर में सर ने कहा कि what kind of mindset you should have at this juncture. Actually, you have to be analytical right now. You don't have to make up mind for making lot of money. Right now, you have to analyze where you stand in the market, where are the leakages. So, उस चीज़ को मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा कि अरे मैं तो थोड़ा सा डेविएट हो रहा था। फिर मैं अपने आप को पीछे खींचा, और ये दोस्तों ये 3 दिन में मैंने जो छोटे-छोटे ट्रेड लिए, बहुत थोड़े 25,000, 30,000, क्योंकि सर ने कहा कि ज़्यादा तुम रिस्क नहीं ले सकते हो, 500 अलाउड है तुमको रिस्क लेना, तो फिर मैंने रोक लिया। अदरवाइज़ मुझे लगता है इस 3 दिन में प्रॉफिट शायद ज़्यादा होते, 10-12 हज़ार के आस-पास हो गए होते। इसलिए 2,000 पर अटक गया क्योंकि सर ने ब्रेक लगा दिया था। तो मैं यही कहना चाहूँगा, लॉन्ग स्टोरी शॉर्ट, कि बस एक लाइन में मुझे एक नई आशा और ज़िंदगी मिली यहाँ पर, जो आज़ादी मुझे फ़ील हो रहा है। मैं तो पैशनेट रहा हूँ, पैशन बहुत ज़रूरी है, लेकिन फ़ोकस टाइम जो सर ने कहा कि 1-1 घंटा ऑलमोस्ट, या 30 मिनट्स भी, जो सर तो सारी बात बताते ही हैं, कहने की कुछ ज़रूरत नहीं है। तो यू नीड टू बी फ़ोकस्ड एवरी डे फॉर हाफ एन आवर, 1 आवर। आप दिल लगी कीजिए, अगर जी जान से इसमें साल भर पैशंस के साथ लगेंगे, तो चीज़ें कंसेप्चुअलाइज़ होगी, और 3-4 महीने के बाद आप देखेंगे, विजुअलाइज़ आप कर पाएँगे चीज़ों को। मैथमेटिकल ना बने, मैकेनिकल ना बने, सर क्या कहना चाहते हैं, सेंस उनका क्या है, विजुअलाइज़ आप कीजिए उनका जो बोलने का जो मकसद होता है, क्योंकि सारी बातें चार्ट पर तो होती ही है, लेकिन बहुत कुछ कहा भी ऐसा जाता है बीच में, जिनको ध्यान देने के बाद जो है ना, पता चलता है इतनी बड़ी मैसेज इसमें छुपी हुई थी यार, सर ने तो एक लाइन में बोल दिया, और मैं उसको नोट करके करता हूँ, तो बहुत, क्योंकि शेयर मार्केट है, एक-एक चीज़, छोटी-छोटी चीज़ें मायने रखती है। सर एक मैसेज का रिप्लाई करते हैं, उसको जब सोचते हैं तो मैं 10-10 मिनट रिप्लाई ही नहीं करता हूँ। पहले वो चीज़ों को समझ नहीं जाता, जब तक मैं रिप्लाई नहीं करता। मुझे पता है कि सर ने इसमें बहुत डीप मैसेज छुपा होगा। तो आज भी मुझे ऐसा कुछ मैसेज मिला, और दूसरे का भी, एक असमान सिंह है, वो भी बहुत अच्छे स्टूडेंट है। तो सर उनका भी रिप्लाई करते रहते हैं, बहुत कुछ। तो मैं यही कहूँगा, डू मस्ट डू व्हाट आवर सर विल टेल यू, अकॉर्डिंग अंडर हिज गाइडेंस यू विल डेफिनिटली डेवलप। अब मुझे तो नई ज़िंदगी मिला, दायरा में रहना होगा कुछ दिन तक, आपको सर के दायरा में, ग्रिड से दूर रहना होगा, पेशेंस रखना ही होगा, कंसेप्चुअलाइज बाद में होगा, चीज़ें विजुअलाइज होगा। मज़े कीजिए, 3-4 महीने का जर्नी है, आनंद उठाइए, मज़े में रहिए, और देखेंगे कि साल भर के बाद आप एक ऐसा रास्ता, मैंने तो सर को कहा कि सर आपने मुझे नई ज़िंदगी दे दी, मुझे तो आज़ादी पसंद है ना? तो आप भी देखेंगे कि आपके लिए एक नई राह खुल जाएगी, और आप आनंद उठाएँगे इसका। तब तक आप इस जर्नी का आनंद लें। थैंक यू, बहुत सारा समय मैंने लिया। सर, नाउ इट्स अप टू यू सर। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Amarjeet. And if you paid attention, I'll highlight the words that he used, and the words are devotion and dedication. As I have been, I mean, if some of you have been interviewed by me, the starting of this batch, that's exactly what I asked for. Devotion. Please give it yourself to the academy. That's why I asked, please let the social media go elsewhere. It's not that this is it and all that, but the point is you have to be focused, and you'll yourself realize it. I mean, how many months? 2 months we have since we have started the batch. 4 months more. And I think in just those 4-5 months, you will stand exactly where Amar is standing. It's as simple as that. All you have to do is do what you have been asked to do, stay in the lane, and it'll happen. It'll happen to you. If someone like Amar, I mean, who had no idea about the markets, who thought the markets is gambling and all that, if he can, have analytical mindset here in this field, and when these acclaimed one of the best traders you see on the social medias, those people are struggling in these days whatsoever. Here comes this student who has only spent 6 months learning and is able to take these amazing trades. Must be something, right? And it's just been 6 months. I gave a lot of years to the learning. If I ask you to dedicate just a year or 2 years, and I'll take you very close to the level I am at, what's the harm? It's a great deal, right? It's just about 1 or 2 years. That's it. And it's not that in those 1-2 years you'll not be making money. I have my students. Nila, you have heard. As I said, right, now he completes 1 year. On 11th of July 2023, he sent me the email. Uh, it's 20th July, so it's been a year. And he has already made good amount of money. And I think he's towards a good milestone as well. I'll share that later once that happens. So that's all I ask for you. And that's why I invited Amar. Because see, I can say a lot of things, but you will perceive that this guy is just wants to talk about his academy or whatever. So I thought, fine, instead of just putting those screenshots of his account, let's just get him here and I'll just allow him to talk whatever he wants to talk. You can even ping him if you want, if you think, yeah. Otherwise, you can just ping him, ping any of my student. So that's how it is. So I hope you take the important message from here. Arshdeep, I think you have something to speak.
यस सर, गुड इवनिंग।
Good evening.
सर मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि आई कैन वेरी वेल रिलेट टू द अमर बिकॉज आई एम एट द सेकंड सेंट्रल जॉब राइट नाउ एंड लाइक अमर ने जैसे कहा कि मतलब दो या तीन जॉब उन्होंने अभी थर्ड जॉब में है, मैं अपनी सेकंड जॉब में हूँ। तो वो जो फ्रीडम एक होती है ना, मतलब वो कभी मुझे अंदर से फील नहीं हुई कभी भी। जो यहाँ पे मुझे अभी नाउ आई कैन रियलाइज जो एक मुझे जो एक मंजिल मिल गई है कि हाँ मतलब कि वहाँ तक पहुँचना है, जो साफ साफ मुझे दिखाई दे रहा है। लेकिन पहले कभी मतलब मुझे ऐसा रियलाइज नहीं हुआ, एक जो वैक्यूम था मेरे अंदर की कभी भी ऐसा मैंने कभी मतलब रियलाइज नहीं किया कभी भी ऐसा पहले, इससे पहले। तो जो अभी जो मैं फ्रीडम महसूस कर पा रहा हूँ ना, तो वो मैंने आज से पहले कभी महसूस नहीं की सर।
That's great. That's great, Arshdeep. I mean, your journey has just started, I would say. Things will get the real things, the things that will push you in trading, that will allow you to trade on the right hand side. Because up till now we are doing left hand side, and again, left hand side is something even I do right now. Despite of all these years, I still do LHS, the left hand side, because I just love it, and that's how your approach has to be. But again, your time is coming, and you'll have more to speak about. But anyways, that's about it. Have devotion, have focus. Again, as I said, right, the focus is time, and it'll happen. It'll happen for sure, and you will be. And I can guarantee you, if you do as I've asked you to do, you will be better than any person out there who claims whatever they claim. Any of my student is better than anyone out there. Right, but that will only happen when you practice under me, when you do as I'm asking you to do. No matter what instruments you want to trade, you will be a success for sure. And since we are talking about the freedom, I'll tell you, see, freedom is good, but what's more important is control. What do you think you are having freedom is actually nothing but just having more control over your life. So, because see, freedom is something I would say it feels like running away from things. That's how we generally perceive freedom from, right? I want freedom from my job. Is it actually the job you're looking for the freedom, or are you actually looking for some more control in your life? So look for control always. Freedom is a byproduct, right? So that's how it is. But anyways, good. Good 30 minutes we spent talking about things. And I think now let's talk a bit about the technical stuff. And I see that this batch has gotten the lecture on DC, the demand candles. Very interesting topic, but a bit confusing, honestly. It's a bit difficult topic, I would say. And I'll give you an advice. This is a topic every batch has struggled with in the beginning. And this is not a topic that you have to master in just one viewing or 3 viewings or 5 viewings. It's something that will happen to you. You'll get the concept over time. Probably, by the time we are at lecture 19th or even 20th, probably you might get the understanding of DC then, right? So I'll tell you that if you're confused with the DCs, if you're having a bit trouble, no worries. No worries, you'll know it. as we'll objectify a lot of things. As I saw some interesting discussions happening that a DC needs location. And there was, I think, RMJB posted a visual, right, of two candles. On that, I'll tell you one thing. And I think Frankie had an amazing answer. I can remember Frankie's answer. There were few more answers on the very similar lines, but I think the Frankie one was on spot, I would say. And what he implied basically, or I would say, I will rephrase his answer, is that any candle can be a DC candle. Can be of any color, can be of any shape. It can be a 8% a red candle, solid red candle, that can also be a DC. And a good green candle can obviously be a DC. So again, it all depends on the location, the relativity, everything that you have learned. Again, as I said, right, location will have more meaning to it. In fact, tonight is the night where you will get there, I think, lecture number 13, which is moving averages. So another filter will be added to your knowledge, another layer to your knowledge, and a different perception towards the moving averages and how we are going to use them. As we will build a lot of stuff, we will quantify a lot of stuff using the moving averages. So that's where you will learn. So again, coming on to the DCs can be any kind. Depends on where is it happening, how is it happening, and where you are in the cycle. Right now, it must be difficult to understand DCs, especially in the real time. But again, your batch is not at a stage where you have to do real time stuff. You have to practice on things that have already happened. You might feel like I'm just practicing on things that have happened already. How does this help me in, trading in the real time? Trust me, that's what builds you the mental models. I mean, there is this documentary of Tom Brady, if you have seen it. I think it's eight episodes or something. In that, you'll see Tom Brady, right? He used to watch tapes of his opponents. He would see the previous matches of his opponents, the recorded videotapes, that which team is doing what, which player is marking, which player like what are they doing, how do they move. He used to study everything that the player has already done, has been doing. And then he used to go on the field. So that helps you in visualization, right? Because you are doing nothing but just understanding demand and supply. That's what we are doing. Candlesticks are nothing but just a visual representation of demands and supply zones. That's what we are doing, right? So once you get the gist of what kind of demand comes in what way, how does it look like, it will be simpler for you. And that's why on that topic, I gave you this exercise, right? Whenever you study the DNA, make this a habit, even when you are doing any kind of study. I'll show you the charts of your senior batches, the 241s or even the senior ones to those. Their charts are very clean. And whatever you're practicing, be it the lecture 16th, you will have lecture 19th, lecture 20th. Always do this. That a stock has excellent DNA, good DNA, average DNA or poor DNA. Excellent DNA stocks, there will not be enough. There'll be few stocks of excellent DNA. Handful stocks. There'll be a lot of stocks with good DNA, and there'll be a lot of stocks with average, and there'll be a good number with poor DNA. But it's important that you see it, that it's okay, this is a poor DNA or this is average DNA. You should know it. That when you are watching an excellent DNA, when you are watching a poor DNA, or when it is average and when it is good. It's really crucial. If you nail this thing, trading on whatever time frame you are trading, whatever kind of trading, investing, whatever you are doing, it'll become much, much simpler. Because if you don't have the understanding of what is excellent and average, how do you decide how much money do I put on this stock? How much risk should I take on this opportunity? Is this opportunity worthy of taking a risk or not? How will you that decide? Because that is the first question. You see a stock, the first question you ask yourself is it worthy of risking or not? How do you know that? If the stock is poor DNA, average DNA, let it go. It's not worthy. I'm not saying you will not make money, but is it worthy? As I said, right? Once you know that, okay, this is worthy, the DNA is excellent or good. Once you know it is excellent, then you'll have to put a good amount of money. Not 20% of your account, not 30, not 40, not 50. Put 60, put 70, put 80. That's what I'm talking about. If you have a capital of, let's say, 10 lakhs, put 8 lakhs in one stock. If you have a capital of 50 lakhs, try to put 40 lakhs in one stock. How will you do that? From where will that conviction and confidence come? From whatever study you are doing right now, at this moment in time, with these lectures. If you know something is excellent DNA, everything, the DNAs, the location, the time frames, once you see that, and when you have enough practice under you, you know that when you see an excellent, you will catch it. And when you put good money, that's where you will make good money, right? That's where a lot of money will come in chunks. Why this is important? Why should we do this? I'll tell you from the perspective of a full-time trader. Why this is important and how to go about it. But let's say you analyze a stock worthy of taking a risk but not excellent. Put 50% of capital, put 30% of capital, or put 20. That's it, right? Makes your life much easier. Just this single concept of the DNA, nothing more than that, nothing else. Just a single concept has a lot to offer. It's just that how do we unlock that concept, right? So this is something that's really important. So I see a lot of people have done a lot of specific practice on this. That is amazing. That's exactly what was expected. Now, whenever you practice on any concept, moving averages or any CB, DC, do this along with that. Whenever you see, first of all, 4 categories, divide that. If you have some confusion, just write it on the chart. I'll answer and I'll help you over there. But this is important because even when I see your senior batches, your 241 batch, 231 batch, when I see a trade that they have taken and it hits their SN, usually the answer lies in selecting a stock with average or poor DNA. It's as simple as that. Everything else they are doing is correct, but the stock itself had a very average or poor DNA. It was too volatile. And that's why I've said, right, that will make your stop losses, trade management a bit too hectic, a bit too bigger essence for not much rewards. Inexperience might not be the best trade or best opportunity to take the trade on. You would like to, it's just like having a company, right? If you're running a company, you would want that you have the best products. You definitely wouldn't want to deal with the average or the poor products. So stocks are nothing but salesmen. The market is the salesman and they are pitching you products. The stocks are products. You are sitting here, the owner of the business. Now it's up to you. Will you select poor quality or even average quality products for your company? You should not, right? You will go with the excellent ones and you will give a lot of priority to the excellent ones and you will be happy with the good ones as well. But you will be a bit cautious with them. But with the excellent products, you can be very confident in even pitching it to your customers or your clients. That's how the trading world is. Pretty much simple, right? That's how it works. So keep these points in your mind. It'll really make your life much simpler. Now, I think lecture 15th or 16th, you will get your first scan. At that point of time, that scan might intimidate you. That, okay, what is this? The CB scan that you will get. But if whatever I've said here in this live session, if you implement that, it'll be much easier to go through that. As Amar was mentioning, right, there were 500 stocks to go through, 200, 300. That was a bit intimidating. But again, as you apply all these things together, it gets easy. It'll get even easier for Amar now. He is yet to get one more system from me. He'll get it in due time. Been a bit busy person. So that is about it. Now let's open this live session for a few doubts. Let's take a few questions for the next 20 minutes or so. So yeah, any doubts, any questions, any observations, please raise your hand and then you can unmute and we'll discuss. Yes, Amit.
So I have doubts from this candle bar. So sorry, CB. So when we draw the top and the bottom lines, and then we try to look out for the inside bar after that. Uh, so at that time, those lines, there seems to be resistance and support. And should we not consider them as zones there, or should we only try to consider them as lines? And as soon as it goes down and it is hitting my SL, and I should be out of it. Or if I consider it as a zone,
It's a
then basically I'll not be out of it.
correct. It's a zone, and I'll explain a trade of mine that did not work at all. But I'll explain that. Don't consider it as a single point line and exit. Because see, the simple advice is, let's say you get good with the trading, you're making profits and everything, you increase your capital, and when you deal with the bigger quantities, it's a bit difficult to get out at the price you want, basically at a single level in one go. You cannot do that because the liquidity. There'll be liquidity issues. So treat it as a zone, and zones basically allow you a lot of trade management. And I'll show it to you how that happens. I'll show it to you now in this session itself. But yeah, those are the zones.
And another question I have regarding this DNA. So suppose I want to automate this process and write a script. Then is there any indicator which can help me to find out the good versus bad DNA? Because visually I'm able to make sense out of it, but for a programming language, is there any indicator which can help me?
For
I would not to use that indicator in my manual,
Okay.
scanning of the.
see,
Okay.
DNA is something that is a bit difficult to objectify for a machine. But usually, if you want to make your life a bit simpler, what you can do is look for full-bodied candles and decent turnover. Basically, the price multiplied by the volumes. Look for stocks. So, pick one good stock with a good or excellent DNA. See what is the turnover for that. Basically, the price multiplied by the average volume of the past 30 or 20 trading sessions. See what is that turnover number. Use that turnover number as your benchmark. And that should give you good liquid stocks with decent DNA. But you'll get more, you'll get
Okay. I think I need to do more practice on this to understand what it means.
anything else, Amit?
Can we move those candles within the inside bar bit, forward and backward? Because I'm noticing that within inside bar, sometimes I'm getting more inside bars. Sometimes, more means which has a greater length, basically the wicks, and sometimes the shorter one. And when I'm trying to analyze the stock, what is happening is whenever a move is coming, that time I try to backtrack, and then suddenly, the candle I was thinking it is the one I should be using as a base reference for the inside bar. That candle shifts a bit back, and I find another candle which can also act as a mother candle for all those inside bars. So can we shift like this to and fro, or am I doing something wrong here?
I would say don't. Right now, don't be concerned with getting too mechanical. As you said, making a script for the DNA. I would say don't do it right now. Let us complete with the lectures. Get good with the trading that you will do, not a machine. You will trade. Get good with that, because then what will happen is the logic will come from you, and that'll be better. That'll be more refined, and you'll know how to execute that. That is more important when we talk about these codes, right?
I'm sorry, when I use the term backtracking, I didn't mean the programming backtracking. I mean, I just go back few candles, not in programming way.
Correct, but I'm
Man,
talking about the DNA script and all that you're talking about. I'm talking about that, and backtracking the candles and all that. See the length and all these things. You'll get more clarity on this in lecture 20th and also, because the candles you're talking about is of lecture 20th. I know what you're talking about, but let's just keep that for now.
Okay, thank you.
Aniket Singh?
Yes, good evening, sir. Sir, many times I have seen that a stock is having a good move, and just like you can open the stock of RVNL, sir,
Okay,
on daily time frame. Sir, on 26th of April, 26th and 27th of April, sir.
Hmm. Here.
2023, sir, sorry. Yes, sir. Sir, we can see that this move, sir. We can wait for the pause candle that after a big move of nearby, sir, 30% move, we are expecting a demand candle, that we will get a demand candle or a good pause. But within one or two candle only, it again starts moving up. So how can we track these kind of stocks, means these kind of movements, sir? Either for a fresh entry or
Let's draw a few lines.
this.
Let's see what is happening, where you are. We'll have to see all of that, right? Okay. See, this is the line we drew, right? Yeah, correct. April 23. This is the month. So now something interesting has happened here, which you will learn in lecture number 19. But anyways, when the move came, it was the monthly buyers that came, right? And the stock was going into the all-time highs. And it has been in a big range since 2019 till I would say 2022, 3 years range. And that finally broke. So no structural hindrances, right? There is no structure here into the all-time highs. And these buyers you see are the monthly buyers. The M buyers came in here, so the scale and everything happened accordingly, and that's where you see the move has happened. So that is the reason you got this. Again, will I enter here? No. If let's say I miss the stock, I'm more than happy to let this stock go and do whatever it is doing. I'll never ever enter.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Why is that? You will get the reason, but a bit later.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is Ajay here? Ajay Ahuja? Can you unmute Ajay?
Hi, it's how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I had to discuss a chart that you posted. I don't remember whether it was posted in the general discussion or in the chart section.
Yeah, it was in a general discussion. I had a question regarding.
Yeah, you correct. It was posted on July 16th, 1:28 a.m. Right?
Yes, I'm trying to open that.
Okay. I'll open HDFC Bank for you.
Yeah.
Had to discuss over here. So Ajay's query was over here. He wrote, here we have good CB. We have good CBs here. Why did it fall?
Yeah, I didn't understand this thing.
Okay. So I have a question. I have a question. When you say you have a good CB and then you ask me why did it fall, there's no relation in these two. I mean, there can be a CB and the stock can just completely crash down.
But as per the candle design and the volume, I understand it's a time to uh, up the stock. Just to
No,
go on
no,
positive.
that's not the way. There can be CVs, but then you can just keep falling. I mean, see, there is a good candle here, high volume. Again, HDFC banks of 1.15%, even that is fine. But after that, see what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why it was falling and it was keep falling. Continue for next 2 days or something.
Exactly. So,
3 days.
yeah, that is never a case. That is never a case. I mean, there can be CV, then there can be some humongous falls after that. So,
Mhm.
you ask, why did it fall? Why did it fall? Let's see. Let's see what is happening where. Okay, you have the answer. This is exactly the concept of push that you have been taught. And it is a monthly level push. It's a big push, right? These zones of resistance, if you form these, that is exactly where the price was. And just see how it approached this level. Started from here almost. And kept going, kept going, kept going. And that's how it went there. So there'll definitely be a reaction. What happens in that reaction, that's something you have to see in real time. And then the fall happened.
So with the volume and this candle design, there's no relation with that. No.
No, definitely there is no. I mean, there is more to it. There is location to it. There is a structure. Monthly was in what? It was in a big range, right? It has been in a range since 2021, and that's where you are right here. And there's one more thing. Observe the slope of 200.
In the loop of 200, yeah.
It was down, and then it started to slope up, right? That's where you are. There is more to it. You will learn later on, much later on. I mean, we have to start with the moving averages. But tell me, what is the trend here? If I ask you, what is the trend in this picture you see? Is there a trend you can define?
Yes.
It's a play, and I won't be able to say anything.
Exactly.
You can help you in this.
So there is no trend. There is no higher highs, higher low structure, right? All you see is random highs, random lows. It's a big range. It's a box.
Now, yeah, it's in a box. It's going on ranges. Well,
And
it is.
exactly. And the same thing I'll ask you. If you say, these are the green CBs, then I can also say these are the red CVs, right? It's down 8%.
Yes.
So then after such a big fall, we never went below and actually came back up entirely. Why did that happen? Again, where you are in a big range. So,
Understood.
yeah, you have to take care of these things.
Understood. It is in the range and in the volume I got confused and I really didn't understand how it was working. So because it was my expectation was my view was it has to go on stage 2, but it was again coming down. So
Again, it's the bigger picture where you are. You are in a range in the monthly. So daily has no power over it. Daily can't do anything on its own. If the monthly decides to take a push of the scale of monthly, which you can evidently see here, down almost 4.5%, then so be it. And if the monthly decides, it'll go up, see, the market was horrible for the past 2 days. It had enough excuse. The stock had enough excuses to fall down and justify that. Yet what happened? It did not go down. It did not go down. In these 2 days, it has been up to 8%. And why is that happening? You have the reason.
it is in these 2 days it is the event of the budget, right? That's the reason it's coming down to
Which
correction and the corrections.
which correction are we talking about here?
I'm saying about this 2 days the market was down because of event in the budget, and then some correction has to happen in a lot of stocks.
Exactly. Whatever the reason, I don't care. Whatever the reason, be it war, be it budget, let it happen. These things happen. There was elections a few days ago. Now it's a budget. Nothing. The point is, Uptown is a stock we are seeing when the market, because small cap, mid cap, everything is crashing down. Why is this guy 4 and 4? In total, 8% up in 2 days. That's a question to be asked, right? It had excuse. If this would have gone down like this, that would have been fine. Why? Well, the market was falling, but yet the stock was going up. And I was discussing this stock with the senior batches. I'll forward my messages from their group. But anyways, this is, I think, where I was talking about this stock. But anyways, why is that happening? Because see the picture here, see what is happening here. So again, Ajay, I would say candlesticks have nothing to offer, honestly, in isolation. As we said, right, it's the DNA you learn first, it's the perception you learn, it's the structures you learn, and now we are talking about the CB candles and the DC candles. That means something. So be clear with the structures, be clear with these things, and then use these candlesticks.
So I need to revise the previous lecture.
Exactly. If you feel you are having trouble with these, you can always start again. You can always start over.
Definitely, I'll do that.
Right.
And revise the lesson. I think there is some confusion that which is I missed in the lecture. I'm not able to recall the things, but I'll go through the previous lectures again, and then hopefully I'll get this get the answer of my own question.
Great. Yeah, you definitely will. Is Satvik here? He has. Yeah, Satvik, are you here?
Yes, sir.
How have you been? I haven't seen much chats from you in the past week.
Yes, sir. Actually, I was out of town for a few days, and the problem is I did not have my laptop with myself.
Okay.
So I had few concerts with. No, I returned on Wednesday, so I am starting to revise the things again.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll be back with the practice times on few days.
Great. Now I'll show you trade, management trade. You know about the zones you are talking about. So Geo Finance is the trade we are talking about. And also, so the first trade I had this in store was here. And I think I sold on this day. And then the next trade that I had in this stock was, I think, here. And then I managed it well over here. But eventually the stock went down. Now again, see, when I bought here, it's not like I just bring my SL here and when this price is breached, I exit everything. Doesn't work that way. You enter some, then things happen, then you have to manage. So I cut some positions here. Then I was expecting a bounce came, a very weak one. And then I started managing the positions aggressively. And then, and slowly in these 2 days out, I was out of the stock entirely. So it's not that a single line comes and, you just exit. And this reminds me of a trade was taken way back. I think it was Kothari Pet. I don't remember the stock name. It was not my trade. It was a trade by one of my students. And it looked basically something very similar that you see here. He bought her, and then this happened. He did not sell. Now, he was not being daring or anything. He knew what is happening, and he was prepared for it. He added more on this day. He added more on these days. He added here, and he could make money here. He went wrong here, but since now, again, as I said, it's the mindset of accumulation and management. He was able to manage the stock well, shift his STF, which you will learn, unable to come out in the positive. It looked very similar, Kothari, but I don't think this was the stock. It looked very similar. He entered, the stock went down. He added more, then the stock bounced up to a good level. And when the price was coming down, he basically brought his buy price to a much lower price. So if he had the average price of 124, he bought more at these levels. So the average price came to be 112 or so. So when this up move came, he made a lot of good money. So again, as I said, right, it's not about the single levels. As I've said, stop loss is a thing that has been abused a lot. And because of, again, the systems that people are following. So it's a concept that you have to learn, and then according to your style of trading, whatever you want to do, however you like to manage the money, that's your SL will be. If you like a company, if everything is good, you just keep adding to it. As long as whatever the reason you had bought the company for is valid, you keep adding and keep doing your stuff. So there can be SLs, there can be no SLs. There are a lot of ways to trade, and there is no wrong or right method. So what suits you? Some people just cannot take these 11% down days while they have the position in. So they'll have a different style of trading, and that will demand a different SL. While the trade he took demanded something else. Which reminds me of another trade of mine, which I took. A very old trade, SDBL. And this is where it was traded, right? So I bought this stock here on this day. By the end of the day, I added here. I added more here in this morning. Not a lot of quantities. I added a lot of quantities here and then a bit here, relatively. But then what happened? Did I give my SL? No. There was no SL here. In fact, I started adding more on these days. Right? You see, these days, this is where I went a lot aggressive in this stock. And then this happened. And then basically the stock climbed to great prices. And there is a line that has been drawn, and you know from where this line is coming, what happened. Whatever. And all this has happened to the stock. So anyways, it's about management, although this is all something which will come much later on. Much later. But yeah, this is how it is. So when we talk about SLs, this is basically how the SLs and trading work. There is a lot more to it, which you will learn from lecture number 19th, 20th in detail. But yeah, moving averages allow you to do these things. And that's how you have to approach trading. That's how you get in positive. I'll talk about trade. I'll also share my forward my message basically. I was discussing this stock with the 2-for-1 batch. I had a position here on this day, 8th of July. Then this move happened. And since I've been a bit busy, I'm not able to actively manage my positions. So I got out at 185, 184 price on this day. Why? Because the stock got a very, very volatile. And volatile stocks require you to be a bit alert and active with them. But I cannot afford right now to be active managing everything. So I decided to get out of the stock, but then I alerted the batch that though I'm exiting from the stock, there is a different trade now that has emerged, which you can trade. I will show you the message. So if somebody wants to trade for that, now is the position on this day to add for that. And one more thing, there was a bit of tweak here. The reason which was here applicable was not applicable here. The reason for which the trade was taken here was not here. If you're taking the trade here, it's an altogether different trade. See what happened after that. You went up 8% in 2 days. You came down 8%, or in fact even more than that in the next 2 days, and then you strongly went up. Why all this happened? What is happening? Is there a reason? Is there a logic? Absolutely. I'll share my messages of the 2-for-1 batch with you. So this is how it works basically. This is how trading works. If I had a different planning here itself, I would have endured this. If you had different planning, you would have happily endured this down move. This wouldn't have troubled you at all. In fact, you would have added more, whatever. So that's how basically trading is done. That's how trading happens. It's not there is a level to buy and there is a level to sell. It's more about management. That the management will make a lot of money. That will help you with your win rate. I'll keep you sane. That's how it's done. So I wanted to just explain this. But again, this is all trade management. You might not get why this, why a buy here, why a different buy here. And then how do I manage this? Because if I tell you, right, at one point of time, this day you see was down by almost 4%. And by end of the day, now this day is up by 6.54. That's a very volatile day. If you march the high and lows, 12% is the range of that day. That's a high range. Even you can endure this much of volatility at peace doing whatever you're doing. So, that's about trading. That is what is called as trading. It's not you see some pattern or you see a level and you enter, and once it's broken down, you just completely exit and taking the loss. It doesn't happen that way. Anyways, all this you'll learn a bit later. Just wanted to tell you this. Sow some seeds of trade management and all that here. So that's how it happens. I'll tell you one thing. This is a trade taken, and I'll ask you a question. And the question is, you see here, you see these candles and everything, these are the CB candles, you can say. What is the quality of this CB candle? Do you like it? Do you like this up move? Do you like the DNA? How do you categorize it? Excellent, good, average, or poor? Just write it down in the chart. Rohit is asking, do we buy in demand zones? Yes, we will buy in demand zones. What are the demand zones? You will get to know that. Look at this candle. Look at these candles. Look at everything here. This is the area. Look at these candles and then look at these candles, right? But focus on this. Okay, so I would say it's good, it's average, it's good, it's average. A lot of 50-50 between good and average. Aniket says poor. Some are saying excellent. Okay, average. Clavino says first set of CVs are good, second set is bad. Okay. So I'm trading here, right? I'm trading here. Be mindful that I'm looking to trade here. So the importance has to be given to the more recent ones. And again, this candle is not within something. You are just making highs, If I ask you what is the DNA here, look at these. What is the DNA in this area that you see? It's excellent. It's good. Good, excellent, good. Okay. Okay, so for this area, most of the people are saying good, average, good or excellent. And that's the right answer, right? I mean, look at the quality of these candles. It's almost full body, closing at the highs. So that's good. Right? Presence of these candles is fine. And then this bad move happens. Whatever you learn more this. And then there is this another up move. After that, you see, now here you see the difference. See the difference in this area and now in this area. Then you see difference in this up move. Look at this up move and compare this up move to this up move. So this is pretty poor. This is pretty average. It's below average, I would say, not even average, and poor. I'm trading here, so I'll look at this area. This would have been fine if, this would have been good if this was within the previous highs or something like that. But that is not the case. You are going into you're slowly inching up, making higher highs, right? You had one high here, then you made another high here, and then you made another high here. So, and you can see the moving averages are upsloping. This is definitely not good one, right? This is not good. This is below average or poor. So will you take this trade here? No, you will not take the trade here. Definitely not. So that's how you have to see it. There was one more. I'll show you if I remember this correctly. Yes, I remember that correctly. Now tell me what is the DNA of this stock. What is the DNA of this stock? What do you think? This is the data you have. What do you think about this DNA? Yeah, so I can see it's poor, poor, poor. Some might say average, but it's poor in general. I mean, look at these candles. There is one good candle, so fine. But after that, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Pretty pathetic up moves. Yeah. So not a good DNA, right? Not a good. You can even go back and see for yourself. Now you don't even have dark blue candles. It's pretty pathetic. What is this? What is happening here? I see as many red candles as I see the neutral ones or the blue ones. So again, not a good DNA, right? And see what happened. Came back down. So getting very volatile. So you have to understand this. When you understand this, these trades will simply fly away. You will not even have to waste your time on analyzing anything that you are going to learn from here onwards. So that's why I say this compartmentalization is really important, really crucial. Satvik is saying poor but recently showing good DNA. See, no, again, you have to see this entire move. There could be one good CBs, but what happens after that and what is happening before that, you have to see. If there should have been, there must have been some good candles to qualify for it to be called as even average or above average or good DNA. But there were none. It was way too volatile. And that's how the stock has been behaving. You had good CB here, right? Amazing candle of 20%, but what happened after that? Got volatile, then what's the point of having such a good candle? If the contraction is so volatile, it'll be difficult for you to design a good trade. It'll not be worthy. And that's exactly what is happening again now. If now I get couple or one more two candles like this, here, and you get good contraction, less amount of volatility that you see in the form of VIX, then I can say recently it is getting better. Otherwise, no. Yes, Suman.
Sir, Almonds Global, and check that. Almonds Global.
Got it. It's M scale, if I remember the stock correctly, and poor DNA on the D. I mean, yeah, it's a circuit stock, right?
Yeah.
So can't do much, but I think it's M scale. Correct. It's M scale, right? You see. So monthly pay it's decent. Monthly pay is good enough if you want to design trade. But daily, it's we'll just look at this area. Look at this area. The CBs are good again, good. But then what happened? Look at the volumes. Just there was no interest in the stock at all. So you learn how to deal with these stocks going forward. You learn how to deal with these stocks.
Thank you.
Shalom. Good. A good live session we had.